Hello everyone, today I'd like to talk about Lionel Richie and the Commodores. Now, personally, I don't really split the two. I think of Lionel Richie as the Commodores or with the Commodores and vice versa. When I think of Commodores, it always has Lionel Richie in it. I understand they did split and they took two different paths on once they split, Lionel Richie being the most successful. But in my eyes, and mainly because I knew about them together afterwards, I always think of them as the same. And to me, I think of Lionel Richie and the Commodores. They're my favorite 1970s era Motown group, hands down. They're my favorite group from Motown in that era. Heck, I would like to even argue not only my favorite, but they're the best group from the 70s on for Motown. And that includes like the Barge, Tina Marie, you can name it, Boys to Men, Lionel Richie and the Commodores, hands down, 70s on, my favorite and the best Motown group, in my opinion. Now, not only is it my favorite kind of Motown group from the 70s on, but Lionel Richie himself, he's one of my favorite, and I consider him one of the best like singer-songwriters of all time, hands down, of all time. It's just unbelievable his output, what he can do, and things like that. So, yeah, do I really like Lionel Richie? I do. So my first foray into Lionel Richie outside of listening to him on the radio would be his album called Back to Front. It's I think it's his first compilation album where it's Lionel Richie and includes some of his Commodores output. And I think I got that in the mid 90s or so, used on sale. And I remember getting it, and that was one of my favorite albums. I mean, in terms of frequency of playing, I would play that consistently. And it wasn't until I'd say early 2000s that he put out another greatest hits. I think it was called the Definitive Collection, and it's basically Back to Front but with more songs. And then that would have been my go-to album, and I would play both consistently, Back to Front and his Definitive Collection. I have both albums still, just not in this location. But anyway, since that, I listened to that consistently. If I wanted to, listen to Lionel Richie and the Commodores, it wasn't until I was able to procure this album. It's the GOAT. It's a 2 CD set of Lionel Richie and the Commodores. And when I got this a few years back and listened to both CDs front to back, I was shook. I was shook for two reasons. First of all, obviously there's more songs than what I'm used to having in both either Back to Front or Definitive Collection. Obviously there's 2 CDs. But the biggest reason is that this, from what I understand, uses the album versions of Lionel Richie and the Commodores rather than the single radio edits. Now, I know there are differences with those, and I'm always think they're kind of similar, but in a lot of cases they're quite different. And after listening to this, I never knew what I missed, even how much I knew about Lionel Richie and the Commodores and their songs. I never knew I missed quite a bit. This is one of the big reasons why. I'm going to play it right now. Okay, so that's Lionel Richie with Running with the Night, okay? That's one of his hit songs and so forth. But on this particular Gold CD, they're using the album version. And the album version, I just played a little bit. I think it's Steve Lukather. He's playing the guitar at the end. Now, the radio version or the version I'm used to, you can hear it, but it kind of fades out quickly. I mean, you hear the guitar a little bit, do, 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 and then it fades. On this one, it actually is a true solo. You can hear it. It keeps going and going and going. I was like, whoa, where did this come from? I don't recall this at all. I was really impressed. I didn't even know they had this solo in this song, and it actually made the song way. I already love "Running with the Night." It's one of my favorite Lionel Richie solo songs or post Commodore songs. And damn, just having the full album version with this guitar solo is freaking impressive. It just made my favorite song even better. I mean, way, way better. God tier like. So, I had to play this on repeat consistently. And then the guitar solo is fantastic. To me, it's one of the best guitar solos like most people never heard of, including myself until till now. I mean, again, I never knew it existed until I heard the album version. That shook me big time. And I had to find out. For some reason, I don't know why they cut it out. I think they should have left it in. It would have made the song even more popular, but maybe back then there's still like time limits. Like 3 minutes is usually the average time, 3 to 4 minutes. And having this exceed that may not be radio friendly, I guess. I don't know, but damn, it changed the song quite a bit. It's just very, very impressive. And not only that, a lot of songs too. So that's my favorite Lionel Richie song, which is way, way better with the album version. My favorite Commodore song with Lionel Richie happens to be Sail On. Yeah, that no, not personal experience or anything, but Sail On, it's just a beautiful song. I mean, even though it's kind of like a hey, get back to you type song, but it's one of my favorites. Mainly the instrumentation, how it starts out and then it goes at the near the end and sail on, that type of thing. Well, on here it's the same Sail On, but it's the album version, and they extended the great parts of it too. I love it. I mean, I had to, when I listened to it, like, oh my God, blown me away. It made my favorite Commodores with Lionel Richie song even better. And I could say that for majority of the songs on here that are album versions that I'm not used to. And pretty much all the album versions are the longer versions. There's not one bad album version at all listening to this. And that's why when I heard this in full and repeat it many times, it shook me. I didn't know what I missed at all. All this time listening to Lionel Richie on the radio, the Commodores on the radio, and then those two albums I had originally, Back to Front and the Definitive Collection. Right now, I would never pick those up if I have this. I mean, this is the one to listen to. And I guess what I'm getting at is you need to listen to Lionel Richie and the Commodores. If you're going to listen to them, you have to listen to their album versions. Do not listen to the radio edits or the single versions, whatever that is not the full version that you would hear on the album. It won't do them justice. Even if you love them already, this makes it even better. I was very surprised. And usually to me, outside of like disco, dance music or something, the 12-inch mixes and so forth that are usually more preferable, majority of pop music, for me, single versions versus album versions, they don't really do much to me. And sometimes album versions aren't that great. They cut off some parts for a reason, not just for time, but might be too long or something like that. This is not the case. Lionel Richie and the Commodores, it's the album version. You gotta listen to them the full. Running with the Night, especially with that Steve Lukather guitar solo at the end, you just cannot miss it. It's just unbelievable. Again, one of the greatest guitar solos you've never heard. If everyone heard of it, full version of that song, they would put that solo in there into many people's top 100 guitar solos of all time list. The problem is no one's ever heard of it, or a majority of people, like myself. So definitely must pick up. Now, this album is the greatest Lionel Richie's Commodores album of all time, compilation or not. The GOAT. Get this. Hands down, get this if you want to listen to him. Except one condition. It's missing one song of all things. And both CDs are full. Can't pack them in. But it's missing my favorite Commodores non-Lionel Richie song of all time. And I'll play that one for you. You could probably already guess what that is, but it's probably their biggest hit without Lionel Richie. Okay, that's Night Shift. Dedication to Jackie Wilson and shoot, I forgot the other guy. Oh my goodness. So, but dedication to two artists, Marvin Gaye. Sorry, Marvin Gaye and Jackie Wilson. Dedication to those two. It's called Night Shift, and that's their probably the most popular and famous song post Lionel Richie. And that's the only thing that's missing from the Gold album, that double disc. And if that's the case, and if you like it, just get this. So the Commodores. This is the Ultimate Collection. This has it in full. It's the full album version. So really, complete set of Lionel Richie and Commodores. The greatest 1970s Motown group of all time. And one of the greatest singer-songwriters of all time. Get these two and you're set. So anyway, that's all I have to say. Album versions, hands down. Album versions for this group. Get it. And let me know what you think. All right, thanks. Bye.